Hello everyone, Glenda Mollet here and welcome to my craft room today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. The sun is actually shining here in Port Alberni, which is really unusual. Holy man, I'm so excited. I'm going out in it later. I'm sure I'll get some sunshine in, hopefully before it goes away, because sunshine in Port Alberni in January is a rare occasion. So I have a new toy. I'm trying them out today. I don't know what's going on. I only have sound in one ear, but I'm hoping that it's going to help with the microphone issues I've been having. So I hope you can hear me, and I'll stick you on the other view so you can see what we're going to do today. So I'm going to be using the Blessings of Home bundle, the stamp set, and the Flowers of Home dies, and some of the Heart and Home designer paper to create this gorgeous card. Isn't that lovely? I love it. It's a bay window card and it's really easy to do, but it gives you that fun fold wow factor. Who wouldn't like to have that sitting up on their mantelpiece as a focal point of their room? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So if you want to download the recipe for this card, the link to it is in the description. And I also have a link to the supplies that I used. My card base is cinnamon cider, and it has been scored at 1/2, 2, 3 3/4, and 4 1/4, as well as 5 1/2, the usual standard. Hello, Connie. The standard folding. This is the envelope. Oh, there's more pieces in there. Okay. Then I have a piece of basic white that is 4 by 4 1/2 for the inside. The front, I have 3 pieces. Oops, that one goes there. So there's 4 pieces of pale papaya. These two are 4 1/8 by 1 3/8. This one is 4 1/8 by 1 5/8, and this one is 4 1/8 by 1 1/8. Thanks, Connie. And then I cut up some designer paper. So these are all going to layer on here like that. And then this piece is the same one, but I'm going to use the reverse side over here as the stand that keeps the bayfold up. And this is for the sentiment. Now I've already got the pieces for the flower in my Stamparatus. This is such a big stamp that I find using the Stamparatus is much easier. So I'm going to stamp, excuse me, the full stamp on a piece of basic white that is 4 by 3 1/4. And then I'm going to stamp just the flower piece. Oh, I lost my cardstock that was in there. Where did it go? Uh-oh. Really? How can you lose a piece of cardstock that was just stuck in there? Oh well, I'll get more. Anyways, I'm going to stamp it here, and then I'm going to put my extra piece in here and stamp just the flower because I want to fussy cut that. So I just got to go find some cardstock. Okay, so I was talking while I walked away. Connie, can you tell me, did you still hear me when I walked away? Because I'm kind of experimenting with these earbuds. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to move the card for a sec and ink up in Memento ink, which is the ink of choice when I'm coloring with Stampin Blends, which we're going to do today on this flower. And then I'm going to show you a bit of a trick that I use to feather out the edges. So we'll just use this. There we are. I was given a fancy. Oh, good, Connie. That's awesome. Okay, so I was given this fancy black thing to do this with, but by Sharon, and I don't know where I put it because I've been cleaning. I may never see it again, but I have this eraser, the chalkboard eraser, and it works fine too. So I just stamped that, and I kind of wanted a little bit darker right in the middle there, so I'm going to put some more ink on right in the middle and then stamp it again. Now, because I'm using my Stamparatus, I can do that because it goes exactly the same place. There we go. See, it got much darker there in the corner. Okay, we'll remove that, and I'll remove this. So that's image is done. Now I'm going to take this other piece of basic white that I have, put it in there, put the plate back on. This is my second Stamparatus, and I'm just going to make sure I made sure that this image here is on the paper, and I'll ink it up with my Memento ink. I'm thinking, Connie, that when I first start out, I'm good with sound. It's after I've been on for a while, it seems the sound in my computer dies completely. Not completely, only on the left side. Let's see how that is. Perfect. So that's what I need for that. So we'll just get rid of those. Take this off. There we are. Put that off to the side. Get it out of my way. Now, this I have to fussy cut because there is not a die for it. So I will do that. But I want to die cut this first. So I'm getting out the Blessings of Home dies. Well, I don't know. It's actually got me befuddled because I can hear halfway down the house. And when I sit, just like I'm sitting now, and craft on Zoom, I lose my sound. It's the strangest thing. Okay, I'm trying to get this lined up, and of course it's not cooperating. There we go. Maybe. So I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's Zoom doesn't like my computer or what is happening. There we are. And now my right one has paired and my left one has not. Who knows with technology, eh? Okay, this is still not where I want it. I apologize. I have to wiggle this some more because I like it to be consistent around the outside. Oh well, we'll go for it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to run this through the machine. And I like to run my die cuts through the machine before I color them because that way, if the die moves, I haven't wasted all that coloring and I can just redo it. So we'll just gently pull this off. Oh, good, it worked. Yay! All right, now we're going to do some coloring. So the flowers, let's get this in here where you can see what I'm doing. This one is going to sit this way. So this flower here is purple. So I'm going to get out my fresh freesia. And I like leaving white around the edges. Now you don't have to, you can color yours in. Just work with a few petals at once. Don't try to do the whole flower at once or the ink will dry and you won't you won't get good blending. So that was the light. Now I'm just going back in with the dark and using the artist's image where they've put those lines just to put the dark low lights in. So we'll go do the rest of it. I like how when you leave white around the edges, I really like how it gives more definition to the flower. Sometimes though, when I do this, I get carried away and forget that I wanted to leave the white on the edges. So it's not foolproof. There we go. And I don't have to see, I got enough ink in there. Let me just do that. See, I got enough ink on there that I didn't really have to do blending. Okay, and then I'm going to do these few down here. Now this one is kind of hiding, so I'm going to go right out to the edge of it till I get around to the side that's not covered. Oops. I'll go back and do the dark on this. There we go. Get it all blended in there. There we go. And now we'll do this one. This stamp set is so pretty. It has an awful lot of coloring, but I have seen it where the artist has just stamped it and not done any coloring to it, and it's just as pretty that way too. Hey, we'll get some deeper colors around where the petals are in shadow. So I've discovered a way to soften, I think that's it for the purple. Maybe it was something to do with choosing the earbuds as your microphone as well. Yeah, I don't know. Ah, okay. Oh, Connie, I have no idea. Really, honest to goodness, I don't. It's getting to the point where I'm contemplating a new computer because this one is acting up so bad. But I remember the pain and agony last time when I had to change computers because the computer geeks need to have it for a day or two to get everything moved over. I can't be without my computer for a day or two. It just is not going to happen. Okay, so I've done those two little flowers and I just need to do this one down here. But I am trying. The next thing I'm going to try is a wired microphone headset set. I do have one, but I don't like getting the wires in my face when I'm trying to do my coloring and stamping and stuff, but it might have to come to that. We'll see on Friday night during my, oh, I forgot to turn that one purple. We'll see Friday night during the collaboration night how it works. And if it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to find alternative arrangements. Okay, so these ones are tiny and I'm not going to take the time to blend them. I just want them to be the darker color. Like that. Okay, and I've got to go back and do this one that I forgot to do. And it's a relatively small image, so I can do it all at once. There we go. And put some dark on there. Okay, so that's the pink, that's the flowers done except for these big ones, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. Just go in with my yeah, it's on earbuds microphone. Thanks, Connie. That's a good idea. I think I've got to get my grandson back here again. And I think we need to do, or maybe we just need him and me do a Zoom from wherever he is so that he can see and hear what's going on. He's a whiz at this stuff, I tell you. He amazes me every day at his brain. Get some dark in there. So I'm doing this one a little bit different because I didn't leave white on the leaves when I did the original one, and I am now. So it's going to be slightly different, but I like it. I like it with the white on there. Okay, turn this. I always like to turn my work when I'm coloring so that I start in the center and work my way out. I don't know why. That's just the way I do it. And I always use the bullet tip. I never ever use the brush end unless I'm coloring embellishments or a ribbon or something, then I use it. But just for regular coloring, I prefer the bullet tip. And just go back in and blend that all together now. Get the little ones done. So many leaves, but the holy man, they're so pretty. Okay, some dark in there. And yay, just about done. Okay, let me check here. Oh, let's put some darker leaves in. These little ones, I think I'll turn them dark. Got all that, got all that, got all that, got all that, and a few up here. And that's that part done. Now, the main flower, I heard tell that they're called cosmos flowers. I'm not that up on different types of flowers. This is cinnamon cider. So I'm going to first of all go in and do the centers of all these flowers like that. If anybody knows their flowers and knows definitely what kind of flowers these are, please let me know. Okay, so this is the light. I'm going to do the center of each of the big ones. Now I probably don't have to do this because I just remembered that I'm going to fussy cut one and put it over the top, but oh well. Done now. And the center of this one. And this is the light. And then I'm going to go back and add some dark, just so it has some definition in there. Like that. And then go back over top with my light and blend it all together. And then we'll do the same thing to this one that I'm going to fussy cut. Some light on there. So I had my catalog launch on Sunday. We had so much fun. I tell you, I didn't think I could talk that long, but I talked almost the entire day. We had show and tell and product glimpses, and there was draws, and there's still draws going on for placing an order. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the trick of what I did around the outside there. Do you see how that's nice and light? Well, we don't have a really light blends like that, but if you take the light one and just add, I'm adding a bit more than I did on the first one, just add in on top of those hash marks there where the artist has decided the shadows are. I'm just going to do that. And like I said, I usually turn so that I can start from the center and flick out. And one more. A bit there. Now, the secret ingredient is the color lifter. So I'm just going to go back over with on the edges of this and just use the blender or the color lifter. Now, with this one, you don't want to um, use it a lot. You need to do it and let it sit and work because it doesn't all work the first time around. Well, it doesn't all work really fast. It does work first time around. And then if you decide that you want it a little bit more feathered out, then you just add another. But you can see already, you can see the difference between, oh, let me see, let me get that focused for you. So you can see the difference between how dark this is and how light that is. It really is amazing. So they call this a color lifter, but it's not really a lifter. It's more of a push through to the back. See how it's pushed that color right through to, on the back of the cardstock. So now I'm going to get my light again and do these ones. Just putting some color in there. I didn't do this on the original one, right down there at the bottom, but this one's going to be a little bit different. This is going to have more color in it. And it doesn't matter if you let it sit for a while, it will still work. So I'm just going around here, putting the cinnamon cider on the hash marks. Oops. Okay, now I'm going to take the color lifter and I'm just going to go over top of those. And that will feather them out a bit, push some of the color back through to the other side so that you don't have it quite as dark. Now, if I went over top of that center, it would do the same thing in the center. So there's various ways to. You could also use like a real pale petal pink or something on here and not have to do this. But I like being able to use all of my colors and make them light. And Stampin' Up! Has now come out with a whole bunch of new colors. They're calling them skin tones. I think there's 10 or 12. I haven't received them yet. They're kind of stuck in transit at the moment. But they go from 100 to 1,000, I think. They're not names, and they go from pale to deep. And of course, they could be designated as flesh tones, but it doesn't stop us from using them to color other things. I can't wait to use them for fences and in that Peekaboo farm. Oh, I don't have to worry about that one. Duh. That Peekaboo farm set. It's going to be really cool to do the stone wall and all of the different grounds. Okay, so there we are. So it's feathered out. Now, if I wanted to, I could go back and use my lifter again and do it again, and it would push even more of that color backwards so that it goes even lighter than this. There we go. Okay, now I have to fussy cut. I'm just going to first of all get rid of the excess because it's difficult to deal with all of that stuff when you're trying to cut out something small. Okay, and I always start where there's a flat edge, and I'm going to go right up against the stamped image. I'm not leaving a frame around it this time, because if you do, then you've got these flowers in here, which is all right. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not the way I chose. I'm choosing to do this card. So it's a little bit more difficult when you're following the lines to get it precise, but I will show you a trick afterwards on how to make sure that you don't have any white edges around your cut image. It's quite easy. And all you need is a Stampin' marker, the basic black one, which you can purchase on its own from our catalog. That's the only one that you can purchase individually. But it sure comes in handy, I'll tell you. All right. Going around. And you can see as I'm fussy cutting that I'm turning the image. I'm not really turning my scissors a lot. There's little tiny twists where it's easier to turn the scissors than it is to turn the image. But the majority of it, the scissors are straight on. And I turn and curve. Oops, that's a leaf. Don't want that. Keep going. Have to look at the full picture, not just the floral image, to figure out sometimes what is what here. Okay, just about done. Another petal and a half to do. There we go. And this is why I do along a smooth edge, because when it comes to finish, then you can finish it off really nicely. If you start on a corner like that, it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, now you've done all the fussy cutting, get the black Stampin' marker, the basic black, and just go around the edge like this. And that will give you a lovely deep edge on everything you cut. Even if you cut on the inside of that original line, this fixes that. You see how it's giving definition to the edge rather than this way? Now, because this is our regular inks, it will dry a little bit lighter than that. And just keep going around. You see how I'm holding my marker like this, not like a pen, because this way I have more control over where the ink is going, and it won't accidentally invade into the fussy cut image. There we go. So that's how you do it. It's just that easy, but it makes a huge difference. Okay, I think we're ready. Oh, I didn't stamp the sentiment. Where's the sentiment piece? Did I even have a sentiment piece? Yep, here it is. Okay, so this one I'm going to ink up, and then I'm going to fussy cut it as well, because I don't want, this one comes with a For Inspiring Me, and I didn't want that. So you could mask that off with a Post-it note or something, but I'm going to fussy cut it and make it skinnier anyways. So I'm just going to put that right there. And I'm not worried about it being crooked or anything, because I'm going to be cutting it. So just cut right up there like that. This is a good stamp for that, because it's nice and straight. There's no dipsy doodles in it. And this comes right from the Blessings of Home stamp set as well. Okay, down here. And right along the bottom. There we go. That's that done. Now the inside, I'm going to take my inside piece and my envelope and my piece of dirty paper, because I don't want to get my grid paper dirty. So this one, get enough glue on there apparently. This piece is 4 by 4.5. So it's going to go in the card this way. So I want to put my stamped image down in the bottom corner here. and I'm going to use pale papaya and the smaller image from the stamp set. And we'll just give a bit of a stamp there and do the same thing on the envelope. Okay, those out of the way. Get this out of the way. Bring in my pieces and stuff. Okay, so the first step I'm going to do is fold on all the fold lines. My bone folder here. These bay window cards are really fun to do, and they're not hard. So all of these I skipped the last one because it gets folded in a different direction. So I want to get these all done and make sure your edges line up like that. Okay, so now we have this part, and now this one flips front ways, where the other one's all flipped back ways. There we go. So now you've got this one, I guess, should have been back ways too, but or front ways. That's okay. So there. Now I've got the main frame of the card, and I'm going to take my Tombow glue and run some Tombow glue on that piece right here. Come on, glue. Don't stop working on me now. There we go. I'm going to let that sit for a bit because you need a lot to hold it together, but I don't want to put it together until it dries a bit because then it'll all scorch out, and it's never good to have scorches. Okay, so now let's do our layering. We have this one and that one, and then the little one off to the side. So that belongs on that one. And I don't know whether I cut these out of one sheet. So that one matches up there. And this one matches up there. So I did. So now I have a continuous pattern. But you can't see it. I have a continuous pattern now. So that's the way they're going to layer. Get my Stampin' Seal going here. Now I hope that my eyeballs are straight today. Nope. Goodness gracious. Okay, I just got to pull that up a bit. This is why I like Stampin' Seal, because if you mess up and it is crooked, all you have to do is you pull it back up and start all over again. Oops. It does, when you makes contact and you don't want it to make contact, it is infuriating, but it plays the game well. Nope, I'm having straightness issues today. There we go. Okay, now this one. So this one is a bit wider because it's the front panel. And it's going to go on here like this. And then the third one, my Stampin' Seal is getting down to the end, and it starts misbehaving when it's down to the end. Okay, now this one is going to go so that the wood grain part is up. That on straight. There we are. So we got those pieces all done. The sentiment is done. The flowers are done. So I'm just going to take my card and I'm going to fold that down. And then I'm going to use my bone folder and burnish it well. And then I'm just going to let it sit. I'm not going to open it until I get the front pieces on. That'll give it more sticking time. Okay, this one goes first. Put that over there. Can you still see the card? No. There we are. Okay, first one goes on. This one goes right next to where we put the glue. Right in that panel there. And then this one goes in the middle. I've made quite a few of these bay window cards, and they're gorgeous. They really do showcase whatever stamp set you're using. I think I did one out of the rain boots, flowering rain boots as well. All right. There we are. Get that on the other side panel. There we are. So there's our front done. Now give this another good burnish. And open that like that. Now I'm going to put the inside piece in. This has to be done before we put the side on, because the side piece sits on top of your inside piece. And then I'll show you a little trick that I've discovered on getting that side piece approximately where you need it to hold the card open with a little bit of a frame around it. So I'm not paying any attention to this side because that will all be covered up. I'm just making sure that it's got an even frame all the way around it. Okay, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to figure out where I want it to be. So it's going to be right, that's how far up I want it to sit. So I'm going to put this upside down, and I'm going to stick this on where I want it to be, and move it so that it has a little bit of a frame there, like that. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to mark, and I'll show you in a sec here. So I've just marked that focus. So I just marked where that flap sits on the white, so that that mark, I'm not going to want to put my dimensionals past that mark. And I'm not worried about about putting my pencil mark on there, because you don't see this anyways, it's underneath. So now my dimensionals are going to go right along that line and over on the other side. And that will hold it open at the point that I want it to be open. Because I like there to be a little bit of a frame around, come on, a little bit of frame around when when that is held open. You don't have to do it that way, but that's just my personal preference. All right, let's get the other side of these dimensionals on here. Overkill Mollet, because if 5 dimensionals will do, 10 is better. Oh, okay, now we're going to pull these liners off. Oh, this card's taken quite a while to do today. Lots of bits and pieces. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to put the side with the dimensionals towards this edge and line that up there like that. There. Now when I slide this in underneath, it stops with just a lovely little edge of cinnamon cider in there. Now you can miter these corners if you want. It's really not necessary. Okay, so now this is going to go on here like this. So I have to be really careful where I put my adhesive. So I'm going to turn this over and angle it the other way. And then I'm going to run a pencil mark where this piece is, because if you put adhesive here and you flatten it out, you'll never get it to pop up. But by doing this, you've got adhesive where you want it. And it's going flat on there. You see, I have adhesive exactly where I want it. Okay, get that on there. Now I'm just going to, before I push it down, make sure that there's no adhesive showing. No, we're good to go. Oh, wait, there's a little bit, so I'm just going to see if I can move this a bit, just a tad. That's better there. That's better there. Good. Perfect. Now this one is going to get dimensionals on it. I lost my dimensionals there for a moment. That would not be a good thing. And this one is going to get popped up on top of where the image is. So I didn't really have to color that. But at least I know it's colored. Okay, so that goes on here like this. And then, of course, Wink of Stella, because there's never enough Wink of Stella in the world. Just going to put a little bit on the flower petals. I'm not doing the whole things. I'm just kind of giving them a little bit of flicks because I don't want the whole thing to be blingy. Sometimes more is not better when it comes to Wink of Stella. Sometimes you just have to use restraint. I don't know why, but it's just something that's in my bones. Okay, then that one and a few out there, just so that it has bling all the way around. Let's have a look. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that's Wink of Stella. Now the sentiment. Did I lose the sentiment? Uh-oh. Where the heck did the sentiment go? Oh my goodness. It's not there. It's not there. How could I possibly have lost the sentiment? I don't get it. It was just right there. Oh, that's just really wildly bizarre, ladies. That is unbelievable. Oh well, I'll probably find it the minute my video is over. I'm going to add some classic matte dots, but I put the gray ones on the original card, and I think I'm going to use the black ones. I haven't got a lot left, and my order is stuck somewhere, so I'm not even going to be able to have any for a while. So I like I like it when I use the black and it really gives a pop of color in there. And we'll just put this one right here. So there we are. And when I find my sentiment, I'll do my sentiment. But you can see what it looks like with the sentiment. Without, you don't really need a sentiment on it. It's gorgeous just the way it is. Maybe it went underneath with my dirty paper. Nope. Oh well, it is what it is, right? There we go. I hope you have enjoyed the journey on how to make this bay window card, and I hope you will give them a try. They are very easy to do. Thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and that you get to have some crafty time in your craft room. Stampin' Smiles. Bye for now. Oh, poor Connie. I'm sorry. Thanks. Bye.